The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Hello, and this video is about the drill agenda and the Satanism behind it and why it's being pushed so much, why it's being pushed so heavily. It doesn't take a genius to work out that this type of music, the content in which is displayed in this music, the videos, the movies surrounding this agenda as to why it's negative amongst many other agendas that are currently being pushed. And, you know, we'll go through them as time goes by, some of the other obvious ones. I want to hone in on this one because this affects my particular community the most, because the faces of this particular industry are black people. So this, I guess, affects my community the most, but it still affects everyone else regardless. The faces of this industry, or I like to call them the pawns, they are very influential and a lot of people follow and listen to them. Now, when we talk about music, music is a very powerful force that is very influential over people. A lot of people say, oh, it's just music. They're just saying a bunch of words. It's not that deep. Just don't listen to it. The thing is, it is that deep, because when you couple music with figures that have high followings, a lot of leverage, a lot of influence, this is a dangerous combination. Music literally goes straight to the heart of people. That's why they say, I know this song off by heart. I know the words to this song off by heart. They don't say, I know the words to the song off by chest, or I know the words to the song off by mind. They say off by heart, because music directly influences the heart of people. And the heart is the physical representation of the soul. And when you're influencing the hearts of people, this is very strong and can influence the behaviors, the feelings, the thought patterns that people are going to have. If you can influence the heart of someone, you pretty much can control what they are going to do, say, how they're going to act or behave. Music has a very heavy impact on the heart. So when you have a certain type of music like the one we're talking about today being so popular, being so in demand, this is going to have a direct effect on the masses. And that's the problem we face here, because this type of music is very satanic. I mean, you just have to think about it. How could there be a genre of music that heavily influences violence, killing, the misuse of drugs, the violation of other human beings or the other sex? If it's the male artist talking about women or the female artist talking about men, how could there be such a genre of music that promotes this type of lifestyle and living and these type of thoughts, and it's glorified? People are being paid fortunes because of this. And that's the issue we have. People don't know that this type of music is not something that is very high vibrating. All it's doing is promoting negativity, which is something that the people in control relish of. They feed on our negative emotion. They feed on our fears, our stresses, our negative state of minds. And this is one of the reasons why this type of content gets pushed so heavily on us, because of what it insinuates. But yeah, let's go more into the video and prove the satanic base of this genre and how this genre is associated with a lot of death. They do talk about death a lot within this type of music, within their movies they show or videos. There is a lot of violence and death, and this genre does have a lot of links to violence and death and a lot of satanic references with the people that's heavily involved. So in the UK, it's safe to say that the group 6-7 was probably the pioneers of drill music in the UK. I remember they came onto the scene and really started becoming more prominent around 2015. And it's safe to say that they were probably the pioneers of what we have today. They were the first drill group ever nominated for a MOBO. They was heavily a part of the formation of this type of music becoming what it is today. Even says the UK as we know it today owes almost everything to 6-7. They shifted the sound of UK drill away from its Chicago roots and created a more homegrown grime influenced sound. LD, a member of 6-7, is even referred to as the godfather of UK drill. And it's true, I would say they were the pioneers of this movement in the UK specifically. And you have LD there with the one eye, so really going to show who he's a part of. The name LD is the godfather of drill allegedly, as the full reverse reduction 38, which is the death number. You got 6-7 equals 36 in this reduction. And the number 36 is important because the 36 triangular number is 666, and 666 is their numbers that they like to use as associated with Satanism. Now, I just want to clarify and clear up that there's duality in everything. So when you see 666, in this case, yes, they mean it from a satanic standpoint. However, 666 is the properties that make up carbon. Carbon has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, and is one of the key components found in melanin. In fact, it's what gives melanin its darkness. So 666 is actually something that's important to melanated people, but they use it for satanic reasons. So I just want to clear that up. They'll make it seem bad so that we don't use it, or we don't try to understand it so that they can use it for themselves. Even certain hand signs. That's why I was explaining in my Stormzy video when he does the prayer sign, that is actually a Freemasonic hand sign. However, the sign itself is not a bad sign. So the average person using it isn't using it with bad intentions, or isn't using it because they're a Freemason. However, these guys use it because they are Freemasons, and they're using it to show you that they are Freemasons. But the sign itself isn't bad, but they want you to think it's bad so that you don't use it, because certain signs have certain powers attached to them. But because you think it's bad, you won't use it. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and copy every single sign, especially if you don't know what it means. I'm just making things more clear so that going forward, you don't just see the numbers 666 and think that those numbers are evil, or you see someone doing a hand sign and think that hand sign is evil. This is where you have to use your level of discernment to know the intentions behind why a person's doing something. But yes, it's interesting because 666 is the 36 triangular number, and 6-7 equals 36. If you watch my Chris Kaba video, I showed that Chris Kaba died in the 36th week of the year. So the pioneers of drill, one of the members in their group died in the 36th week of the year, the same year the Queen died. And as I showed 36, the 36 triangular number is 666. So it's very interesting that the pioneers of drill, one of their members died in the week 36. Their group name equals 36, and Chris Kaba in his gematria equals 36. Now you look at Krept and Conan, who are a big influence in drill, not so much because they do drill music, but because they heavily push it. If you remember, they did a long video narrated by a rap man who we'll also go into, and it was called Ban Drill. And I remember when they made this was in 2019, the same year Cadet died, or had his fake death. And I remember they were heavily trying to push forward drill music and being pioneers for it, because there was allegedly going to ban it. That's why it's called Ban Drill. There was allegedly going to ban it, like the government, which I don't believe was going to happen. I feel like that was part of the plan. But yeah, they were allegedly going to ban it, and these guys were doing all they can to not let that happen. They even was on Good Morning Britain talking about why it shouldn't be banned. And I remember they said it's better that they're in the studio rapping about it than being on the streets actually doing these actions. And this is one of the many reasons why this whole agenda isn't positive for us, because it gives us the notion that this is like the only way you can make it out of the hood, by going on the mic and rapping about violence outside of sports. This is what they make it out to seem, as if this is the only way you can make it out. Go on the mic and rap about violence and you'll be fine. They was heavily pushing for it to not be banned, almost coming like heroes. It was very interesting because I was sitting there and I was thinking, these guys are really pretending to push for drill to not be banned when it never really was going to get banned. They used a form of psychological manipulation by making it seem as if they were going to ban this type of music, although they never had no intentions of banning it, but making it seem as if they were going to ban it, then using these two, Krept and Conan, as the false heroes that was going to stop it from happening, and setting up in that way so that everyone gets behind them to not let it get banned. But it never was going to get banned. You see what I'm saying? They made it seem as if they were going to ban it. That way, when these guys act like they're stopping it and they're being pioneers for it to continue, it'll make more people be behind them. This is a psychological manipulation tactic. When you want a group of people to get on the bandwagon of something, you have to make it seem as if it's cool to jump on that bandwagon, or you have to make it seem as if you're rebelling. They gave us this genre of music, like this is going to be yours. Then they made it seem as if they were going to ban it, so that it makes us even more rebellious to support it and make us want it more. So that's what they did here with this whole ban drill agenda with Krept and Conan. And then you got ban drill. This came out the 30th of June 2019. 2019 was a very prominent year within the UK music industry. With the year Cadet died, he's associated with this. The year this ban drill agenda happened, the year the Blue Story movie came out, which we'll get into. And then you got 13th. This date was important because look at the numbers that are associated with that date: 38 and 83. 38 reversed, which are death numbers and murder numbers. These are numbers associated with death, murder, killing, and this is the date it came out, ban drill, because this type of music is associated with death, killing, violence. You got Krept and Conan matched up with Jesuit Order in 3 different ciphers. So that's to confirm that these guys are puppets pushing an agenda. They use psychological manipulation on the masses to make them feel like they're on our side. That's how they get people to feel like they're on our side as well, because it's duality. So they have to have the heroes and the bad guys. It's funny because I feel like I explain it in every video I make, but I have to. It's just like the WWE, the good guys and the bad guys, but they all work for the same guy, Vince McMahon. Yes, I will say it in all the videos until you get it in your head, but that's exactly what they do. They have to have the fake good guys that are on our side and they're with us. No, they're with the Jesuit Order, as the numbers tell you. Jesuit Order also shares 3 numbers with ban drill, so that whole agenda there with Krept and Conan and ban drill was all very fraudulent. Ban drill also has 36 in its gematria, and as I showed, the 36 triangle number is 666. So goes to prove it's a very satanic agenda. The word drill and Satan share the exact same gematria, which goes to support my point that this type of music is very, very satanic. They didn't use this word to identify this agenda by accident. This word is purposely chosen. It shares the exact same gematria as Satan. UK drill equals 33 in its reduction. 33 is number associated with deception, and that's what drill music does. It deceives people, making them feel like this lifestyle is very prosperous, when the people that are actually pushing it are actors, don't live this lifestyle, nothing close to this lifestyle, but they're promoting it as if they do, so that the younger generation follow it, and you know, nothing good comes from that except prison or death and negative behavior, which they feed off that energy. Moving on to Rapman and his movie Blue Story. The 2 main actors, both actors, literally, Michael Ward and the other brother, Stefan something, whatever his name is. Not really important right now, but yeah, that brother there. Now, why is this important? This came out in 2019 as well. You can see Rapman with Jay-Z, who definitely is a Freemason. Got a lightning bolt on his t-shirt symbolizing Lucifer. But yeah, you see Rapman there signed to Rock Nation. Now, why is this important? Because he was also a big pioneer in this type of movement. In his songs or his videos in which he raps behind it, his rapping, I guess, isn't so much drill type music, but it's still in the insinuation of violence. So this whole movement is to push violence and low frequency based behavior, and he's a heavy part of it. He gate crashed Hollywood in style. To me, that's just saying, yeah, he's part of them. That's what I read it as. His movie Blue Story that came out, that had a cinema ban, earned 2.9 million. He posted this on his Instagram, by the way. It earned 2.9 million so far, and he posted that when it came out. And 2.929 is one of the numbers in his gematria. 29. He also has 34, which is one of the murder numbers, and 29 also is shared by Krept. So Krept and Rapman both have 29, and 29 is the date that Cadet died. If you watch my Cadet video, I showed the 2-9 and how prominent that was, because he died on the 9th of February, 2nd month, 9th day. This is all important because this all happened within the same year. Ratman paid his tribute to Cadet on the 22nd. His movie also came out on the 22nd of November. So yeah, Ratman paid a tribute to Cadet. Of course he would, because they're connected as well. With the 2-9, the date Cadet died, he earned 2.9 million so far in the movie, and Crept has 2-9 as well. And you can see in the Blue Story description, the principal photography for this movie began in February 2019. That's the same month Cadet died, and it lasted for 23 days. 2-3 is the date of Cadet's birthday. So it started in the month Cadet died and lasted 23 days, and 2-3 is actually Cadet's birthday. So he's heavily connected with Cadet and death, because Cadet died in that year. And this industry, this movement, cites a lot of death, a lot of satanic behavior. It incites a lot of violence, a lot of death, a lot of killing. So there's going to be a lot of associations with those things. And Cadet died in that year. The same year Blue Story came out, in which there was a lot of death in that movie, which was written by Ratman. The date between Cadet's birthday and the date that Blue Story came out is exactly 38 weeks, and 38, as we know, is the death number. So a lot of death is associated with this movement. Ratman's birthday is the 6th of June, the 6th of the 6th, 66. So it's very fitting that he's also one of the pioneers of this movement. Drill Agenda is 6/6, and also the date his movie Blue Story came out is also 6/6, and Blue Story movie is also 6/6. A lot of sixes in it, 66. And then Ratman himself, his name has 36, and as I showed, the 36 triangular number is 666. So a lot of sixes involved within this movement, hence the references to Satanism. And Ratman also shares ciphers with Chris Kaba, the 36, which is 666, the member of the group who are the pioneers, or who were the pioneers of drill music. Jesuit Order also shares ciphers with Ratman and Chris Kaba, 72, the 27 reversed. Ratman's second name, Omubolu, 33, the number of deception. The date it came out, 22nd 11th, equals 33, deception. Blue Story has 137 in its gematria, and 137 is the 33rd prime number. So again, deception, because the people part of this movement are deceiving the people. They are deceiving the people to think a certain way. They're deceiving the people to think and behave and act in a certain way, which is actually doing more harm than good to the masses or to the youth. Hence why there's a lot of 33 links. The two main actors in the movie Blue Story, Stephen, whatever his name is, and Michael Ward, both 33 reduction, and actors 33 as well. When you got the one eye there from the Stephen, whatever his name is guy. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember his second name. It was on the Blue Story description, but I can't remember his second name, and I can't be bothered to even go back. But yeah, you see him doing the one eye there. You got Michael Ward, and that's a lot of symbolism in that picture alone. Look what's on top of him. I mean, most guys I know, let's just say most guys I know, if you take a picture and you look, before you post the picture, you're gonna look at it. You don't just take a picture and you just post it. No one does that. You look at the picture first. So any normal guy that I know that's taking a picture and they look at it and they see that on top of them, they are retaking that picture within an instant. Unless obviously you support that agenda, then yeah. But I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about guys like myself. You ain't taking no picture of that on top of you and posting it. No way. You got the eagle, that's also a symbol as well. And you got the skull on his hand, the skull and crossbones. That's actually a Freemasonic movement. So you got the skull on his hand, that's a Freemason symbol, skull and crossbones 322. And the skull and crossbones 322 also equals 666, as it shows here. The crossbones equals X, and in the Greek alphabet, the letter X has the numerical value of 600. And then as you can see, the 322 equals 66 because 3 times 2 equals 6, and 6 times 2 equals 12, which is also 6 plus 6. The 322 also has the numeric value of 66. Exoterically is 322, but esoterically the hidden meaning actually equals 66, and the crossbones equals 600. So when you knock off the zeros, it would actually equal 666. So you got him there wearing the skull on his hand, on his glove, and you got the symbol on top of him, you know what that is. And then you got the eagle. The eagle is also one of the symbols as well. The 33 deception, the double-headed eagle is a symbol of duality. And then SE13, SE15 is the two gangs that were represented in this movie. SE15 has 36 and 18. 36 triangle number is 666, and then 18 divided by 3 is 6, which is 6, 12, 18. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. So that's 666 twice. And then SE 13 has 34 in Gematria, which is the murder number. There was a lot of death and murder within these two areas within the movie. Death and Andrew, which is Ratman's first name, also share 97. Then you got the date of which Blue Story came out, 52, which is 25 reverse, which is also a death number. Blue Story equals 38 and 52, 25 reversed. And there was a lot of death in the movie, and there's a lot of death within this movement and what the lyrics incite within the songs that's part of this movement. Blue Story and Murder, again 38, 83 reversed. Blue and Story, you can see Story has 3 ciphers, which numbers are linked to death, 25, 38, and 97. And then Blue has 23, and the 23rd prime number is 83. Michael Ward shares 2 ciphers with death. As you can see, Deptford, one of the areas in which the movie was in, has all of the numbers within its ciphers, all are associated with some form of death. You got 88 with murdered, 43 with murder, murdered, and killing. You got 128 with murdered. You got 38 with death, killing, and murder. Then Shiro's Story, another video that Ratman made, also has death numbers in it: 34, 38, 74 for fake death, and 88 for murdered. And Story, as I showed, 25, 38, and 97, also death numbers. Shiro has 33 and 66, so number of deception in the 6. He's very prominent within this movement. Ratman and Cassio, which is Crep's real name, so 3 numbers together, 27 and the 36, or 6-3 reversed. Now let's take a second to actually look at the word drill. Even the word itself by no means was chosen by accident. When you look at a drill, the actual meaning, the actual definition is to fix something in the mind or habit pattern of by repetitive instruction, to bore or drive a hole in, to make by piercing action. So to drill means to fix something in the mind, or it means to drill a hole in something. When you use a drill in the house, you drill into the hole of the wall and put whatever it is you're trying to hang in that particular place in which you drilled. So whatever picture it is of whatever was on the picture, that's what you're trying to hang on the wall in which you drilled a hole into. To put whatever it is you're trying to put on that wall, you have to drill a hole into that wall. What is the implications of this word? Because they like to use double meanings. They like to use double entendres. It means one thing, but it actually has a hidden meaning. It has an exoteric meaning and it has an esoteric meaning. So this is what a drill does. This is what drill music is. When you look at it from an esoteric standpoint, they want to fill our minds with a certain belief and mindset. In order to do that though, they have to drill a hole into the mind. They understand that to give us a certain mindset, a certain style of thinking, they have to drill a hole into the mind. They have to put a hole into the mind, and then therefore they can put whatever it is they're trying to push on us in the mind because they drilled a hole. This is what a drill does. It drills a hole in which you fill the hole with whatever it is you're trying to fill it with, whatever screw you're trying to use. This is the same implications in which drill music does to the mind of people. They give us a certain style of thinking to have once they've filled our minds with whatever it is they want us to think. This is the whole point of drill music. And when you look at these guys that promote this type of lifestyle or this way of thinking, none of these guys actually do this. And that's the thing about it. They have all these puppets or pawns that push this agenda, and none of them actually live that actual lifestyle, but yet they're pushing it as if they do, making it seem very cool. So this is how they're deceiving us, because they're promoting something that they themselves don't actually do. They make you think they do it, but they really don't. So it's like, why do they do it then? Because they're pawns, they're puppets, so they have to push certain agendas. And if they are the faces of our communities or influential figures, they know how the mind works. They know how to get people to repeat behaviors. If you see a role model doing a certain behavior, you're more likely going to follow that behavior. That's why people always advise to not do certain things in front of your kids, because if your kids see it for long enough, they're going to copy those behaviors, because parents are the role models of children. These guys are the role models of people that look up to them. And as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. They are exploiting that power to make them believe something that's not actually true, so that when the general public go and follow these behaviors, they actually face the consequences, not these guys. Just take a look at them to show you their allegiance. The one eye there, Russ, Devil Horns, Band OK. Got Dutch Avelli with the gun to the head, killing your consciousness. And I'll be making a video on him soon. You got Central C there with the one eye. The plaque he's holding is the number 1. So it's ironic, the one eye, and it's holding the one. Got Ivorian doll covered in blood. Satanic practice covered in blood. Bando K again there. The devil horns. Got Heady One there with the one eye. You got Dutch Avilli there sitting on some bricks of coke. But we all know that's obviously not real, but that's the whole point. We know that's not real. There's no way anyone's posting that on their Instagram, a famous guy, and that's real. But then it's like, if we know that's not real, why are you doing that then? If you're an influential figure, why would you post something like that? You know that's fake, so why would you post that? Do you see what I'm saying? What are you trying to incite? What are you trying to show? What are you trying to teach? Anyways, yeah, video on him will be made soon. Shabo there with the one eye. Central C again with the devil horns. Got Russ again with the one eye. Looks very satanic with them contact lenses. He looks very possessed. Triangle in the one eye. Got Central C again with the one eye. Ivory and Door again, different pose, but blood ritual. Heady One with the 6. That's a Freemasonic sign, the 6. Got Central C again there with the 23, which is a number associated with death. Also equals the 6. Bit of the one eye there as well. Got Russ again there with his body doing the devil horns. It's quite devilish if you ask me. Got Shabo again with the one eye. Got Quang Face and his other brother Dev doing the devil horns. Also the other doing the 6 with the other hand. Then the blood over the all white. Very satanic. Got Lowski there with the one eye. Dutch Avilli again with the one eye. All showing you who they are and who they're a part of. Got Tion Wayne there with the fingers pointing to the head. Killing the consciousness with money next to him in his face. Again, promoting a lifestyle. They coupled this lifestyle like, yeah, we're rapping about all these things, this is what we do, and then look what we got. Because then people say, like, how is it, that's not influential, people can do what they want. So why are they glamorizing it so much then? Obviously they're actors, so you know they're acting, but they're showing all their jewelry, designer, money to almost make it seem like it goes hand in hand. You got Heady One there again with the devil horns. I've got so many, I think that's Quang Face. Got K-Trap there in the black and white, checkerboards, stairs, looping stairs. That's also Freemasonic, because in their lodges they have the looping stairs with the black and white flooring. Got Millions there with the devil horns. Got Ivorian doll, the one eye again. Shabo, the peace sign, Freemasonic sign, black and white polka dot shirt, the red hair. They actually like that, the red with the black and white. Russ again with the devil horns. You got Dutch Avelli again with the devil horns and the one eye. And you got Tion Wayne with the devil horns. This drill agenda movement, all it does is insinuates a lot of violence and a destructive way of thinking, all while these guys that are promoting it are not actually living that lifestyle. So they're manipulating the people that are influenced by this to also be a part of that lifestyle, whilst these guys themselves are not. They're just puppets pushing an agenda. They actually feed off that lower vibrational energy. So the main point of this agenda is not only to keep us distracted, but to keep us in a low vibratory state. And to do that, they drill a certain lifestyle or a certain way of thinking into our minds through this drill music. This keeps us in a low vibratory state. And if we're in a low vibratory state, it helps us feed our energy to them, our low vibratory energy, but also it stops us from realizing who we actually are and makes us dependent on them. Because if we're in a low vibratory state, we're in a weak and docile state, and if we're in a weak and docile state, then they can influence us to do whatever it is they want us to do, forcing us to become dependent on them and whatever it is they say and do, and make us do based upon what they say. It's kind of like the idea of keeping someone very dumbed down and stupid and brainwashed. If you can keep someone in that state, you can control everything they do and they say, because you can tell them anything and they'll believe it. Now if someone decides to get their own knowledge, decides to, I don't know, read and learn things for themselves, they're not going to be easy to control because they already have knowledge. You can't really tell them, yeah, do this, that and the third, because they might turn around and say, actually no, I know this and I know that, so no, I don't have to do this. Now if someone's stupid and brainwashed, it's very much easier to control and manipulate them. So essentially that's what this whole agenda is about. There's so many reasons why they do it. If we was to break it down to one of the main, if not the main reason, is to keep us in a low vibratory state, because keeping us in that state will give them the opportunity to send messages through their means of interacting with us, and through those messages we will act upon whatever it is they're telling us and remain as slaves to their system. And with that being said, that's the end of my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and everything else there is you can do. And yeah, peace.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you. You need people like me.